Just like to thank everybody for coming. To celebrate my dad's passing away and my birthday, by the way.
Yeah!
Today, so yes, cheers. So thank you all for coming. So I was just about to say something about loving Dad.
I am. Right. Well, again, thank you all for coming. Right. Dad, Brian to many of you, was born in 1938 in Hill Farm Road, North Kensington, close to Ladbroke Grove and Wormwood Scrubs. He was the third son of Bill and Everil Murrin. Bill and Everil had 4 sons, Peter, Charlie, Brian and Ron. Although very poor, they seemed to have a happy childhood growing up in the tough part of London. At the age of 5, Dad was evacuated with his mum to a village of Burton Bradstock in Dorset. This is what he talked about fondly and frequently. He did tell us one story once that he was in the pushchair on the beach in Burton Bradstock and a stray Messerschmitt fighter came across the beach and shot at him. Now, no one can confirm that story, but he did claim to be shot by the Germans. So Dad studied engineering at Exton Technical College and later got an apprenticeship at Napier Aero Engines working on aircrafts. He met our mother Jill at Hammersmith Pally in around 1958. At this time, Dad was very smartly dressed. There's lots of photographs of my dad very smartly dressed. He was a mod, had a scooter, and he got married to our mum in 1960 and bought a house in Old Colston. Both Andrew and I, and our grandparents and cousins, where's Neil? Neil, yes, all lived in Old Colston, and we were a very close family. And I still remember the lovely Christmases we had at each other's houses, taken in turns to celebrate Christmas. I have so many happy memories of these special times with our mum, dad, uncles, aunts, grandparents and cousins. We had so much fun playing games. I still remember one particular Christmas. We were staying with Sue and Bob in Barkham, my always house. We were fast asleep, waiting for Father Christmas to arrive, and suddenly there was an almighty crash. Dad had fallen down the stairs, and in the bag of presents was a laughing bag, and it went off. Yeah. So lots of giggles from the landing. They could not turn the bloody laughing bag off. Dad always visited Hamleys at Christmas to get Andrew and I the latest presents and gizmos and all the latest presents on the market. Dad got a job in the early 80s in Woking at James Walker. Where is Dennis?
Where's Dennis? There we go.
Dennis, yes. So Dad met Dennis indirectly many years ago.
My dad.
Yes. Gemma's dad.
How funny is that? My dad.
He was a sales engineer, and at a very young age we moved to West Byfleet. Andrew and I had a fantastic childhood growing up in Broadwater Close, with both Mum and Dad involved in helping out the school activities and especially the first West Byfleet's Cub Scouts. And Dad became the football manager. And what a manager he was. He was a tough manager. He was the Alex Ferguson of the pub scout team. No namby-pambies in his team. We had a great team and won the five-a-side tournaments, and we were the champions for 2 years running, only second to Perford Reds, where I think Darryl might have been the Perford Reds. I remember one occasion, I never got a game because I wasn't good enough. So Dad never played his own son. But I remember one day I got on substitute in the second half, and Dad was refereeing. He said, "Son, stand on the penalty spot, and when the ball comes, kick it towards the goal." And not a word of a lie, the ball came to me, I kicked it, and I scored my first goal.
Yay!
So I played one, scored one.
Was that an own goal?
Was it the right goal? So that was sort of 1974-75, and we were the best cup team in the Surrey. We always look forward to our family holidays every year to Spain or Mallorca. We had entered into fancy dress competitions, and Dad dressed up as a bunny girl, photograph in there, and won the first prize. And Andrew and I were always dressed up as all sorts of characters, weren't we?
All sorts, cowboys and Indians.
Yes. He helped us through our school years, and eventually I followed the same career with Dad and did an engineering apprentice and became a sales engineer. These are a few of my memories of my dad. Dad took Andrew and I skiing a few times as a family, but once just the 3 of us. We had a great holiday. Normally, it's the teenagers who need controlling, but not our dad. Every night we would be on après skiing and partying to the early hours, and it was ours. I had to remind Dad we had to get up early in the morning.
Can't believe that.
He kept on partying. I also remember a very old acquaintance of mine, Sally here, who knew Dad back in 1980. It was her 21st. I don't even remember this.
I don't know yet.
1986. So I booked a table at the Capania. Who knows the Capania in Cobham?
Yes,
Right?
know it well.
It's now the Ivy. Okay.
Yeah.
A very posh restaurant at the time. Apparently Frank Sinatra and John Lennon used to eat there. So I booked this table for Sally's 21st. Nearing the end of the evening, and all the lights went out in the restaurant. I thought, oh my God, what's happening? And all the waiters and waitresses came out with a big birthday cake, singing "Happy Birthday." I thought, oh my God, I hope it's not for Sally, because I haven't paid for this. So the cake arrived, lights out, waiters, waitresses, the whole restaurant was singing "Happy Birthday." And when the lights came back on, who was at the balcony leaning over? My dad. "Happy birthday, Sally!" Remember that? Dad got divorced in 1984, and he moved to Waymead in Byfleet. He became a bit of a ladies' man. He seemed to rebrand himself and was often seen around Weybridge, frequently all the bars. And all our friends used to call him James Bond. I remember one time bumping into him drinking. I sat down at the table at the restaurant, and someone said, "Isn't that your dad at the next table?" And I can't believe I was sitting next to my dad at the table. I didn't recognise him. He was all dolled up with some fancy woman. In the 80s, there was a very famous wine bar called Buffer's, Weybridge Station. Okay, so I turned up one day with my college friends, and we walked into the bar. And who was at the bar? It was my dad drinking with Cliff Richard, Sue Barker and Mike Reed. He called us over to introduce us to them, and we ordered a drink with them and met Cliff, Mike and Sue. And at that time, there was a famous TV show called Howard's Way. Howard's Way. And Tracy Childs was working behind the bar at Buffer's, and Dad had a little ding dong with Tracy Childs. Another time, I was back home away with my college friends who stayed over that night, and about midnight, Dad rolled in with a load of friends, drinking, smoking, singing. It was like a scene from The Wolf of Wall Street. My friends come into the house, Hugh Hefner had arrived. Another time, this is a true story, Dad went to a charity event in London. And he said when he came back the following morning, I said, "Did you have a nice evening?" And he said, "Yeah, I loved you." I sat next to a famous actress. I said, "Who was this famous actress?" So I can't remember. What's her name? He said, Glenda Jackson? He said, no, Glennis Paltrow? No, too early. And we went through all the Glendas, and he actually said it's to Glenn Close all evening and didn't know who she was. This was before Fatal Attraction.
He's still got off it though,
Ding dong.
Dad, in 1994, Dad moved to Aspen Square, which was the grounds of Oakland's Hotel, and Sue became a regular at the Prince of Wales. Dad's friends are here. A few streets away, Dad made great friends in the Prince of Wales and became his new local. He also had a regular at Cafe One in Weybridge. He went there every morning for a coffee to catch up with friends. I think Darryl met him in Cafe One, didn't you, a few times? Dad always looked out for me and Andrew, and would always ask if we were okay, especially when we were going through our divorces. And if we did not have any plans that weekend, he invited us down the pub with him. I remember on many occasions during my time of my divorce, he was very supportive and checked up on me regularly. If I was on my own, he would come around and pick me up in the car and take me to the pub. Also, he took me to numerous parties in St George's Hill. And as soon as the ladies realised I was Brian's son, are you Brian's son? There were yes.
Tell me afterwards.
I also remember one Christmas day I was on my own, so Dad had booked lunch at the Minnow. in Weybridge. He knew the Minnow very well, and he knew the owners, the staff, and the waitresses. And one of the waitresses who served us had a soft spot for him, who was very nice. And in the morning, when I went round to pick my car up from Dad's house, who was leaving through the front door? The waitress! As I mentioned, Dad loved looking down the Minnows, and that's when he met Nick Rogers, there in the denim jacket. Nick is the rock guitarist of Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Yay!
Blinding lights, revved up like a deuce. That was named one of the best songs ever in Billboard magazine. Did you know that? Dad and Mick became very good friends and hung out in Weybridge and had many a happy evening together. While living in Aspen Square, Dad became very good friends with Joe Navarone, there in the loud shirt. I think Joe met May first, or introduced him to May, or one of the first people who went to Thailand with Dad. And that's where Dad met the lovely May. And May became an item and communicated over the internet for a long time. He proposed and married and moved to Bang Song, a farming village in the province of Yasothon. He loved living in Thailand and soon became part of the community. I visited him a few times and was sitting on his terrace in the afternoon with a Singer beer, his Union Jack flying. Local farmers would pass by with their cattle and wave at Brian, and the kids leaving school would walk past his house and all wave at Brian on his balcony. And at Christmas, Dad would see Father Christmas to the local schools, and all the kids used to run down the road chasing after Brian because they'd never seen a Father Christmas before. Sadly, the last time Andrew, Gemma, Lee and I saw Dad was for New Year's Eve 2019. We had arranged a holiday in a very nice 5-star beach resort in Ho Hin. Oh, I pronounce it wrong. How do you pronounce it? Wahin. About 7 hours drive from Yasothon. I remember booking the hotel, which included a mandatory New Year's Eve gala. Perfect, I thought. We're coming all this way, you don't have to fanny around finding a venue, you've got it all booked. So I thought, perfect, just we wanted to spend New Year's Eve together. So I texted Dad with the details of the book. So early that morning, Dad phoned. The hotel for New Year's Eve is a mandatory gala. Have you checked out the price? No, I haven't converted it to bahts, to English. He said, it's about £190. I said, oh, so it's going to be a nice evening, it's a 5-star hotel, it's going to be brilliant. He said, May doesn't drink, May doesn't eat. We will come with you for the New Year's gala, but we will leave on New Year's Eve. So that's pointless. So I tell Andrew, and Andrew must have a few words. 2 minutes later, Dad texts, I'm coming. You can phone you're coming. So we had... Yes, we had a wonderful evening, and we had obviously champagne, wine, there was fireworks at the gala, and May was drinking like a trooper on the vodka shots, and they had a wonderful time. That's sadly the last time we actually saw Dad and May in the flesh, and we'll remember that forever, won't we? Those days. Well, it's quite funny. On our table was a Norwegian family, a mother and 2 daughters and a son. Yes. Dad had them in stitches all night. He was trying to hook up the lovely daughter who was in the army with Connor. Yes! He was texting Connor photographs of this lovely girl. I'm leaving on over there, Connor.
First thing dong in Norwegian.
So we're texting Connor this night, trying to hook him up with this Norwegian army girl. The son looked like Morten Hargett, and Dad was having a great time with this couple. And they said at the end of the evening, they were so pleased they put on our table. They had a fantastic evening. And to this day, Dad was Facebook friends with the family, and they all sent their condolences when they heard Dad died. Finally, I'd say a word about May. Dad loved May so much, and he had his best years of his life living in Thailand. He loved the people, the culture, the food, the simple way of life, and made lots of friends. Dad passed away very quickly. Once they diagnosed a large cancerous tumour in his liver, Andrew and I cannot thank May enough for being there for him and caring for Dad at the end. And once we were able to travel safely, Andrew, Joe and I will go to Yasothon and give May a big hug and travel to the grave, to the local traditional wooden church, and place some flowers on his grave and say farewell to our Dad. Dad was larger than life character, someone if you had the pleasure of meeting you would never forget. He was certainly fun-loving and a centre of attention, lighting up any room wherever he went. Much loved by all his family and friends. Dad, your sons love you so much and you will be hugely missed.
Well,